I don't have time to make this video. I just thought about the fact that I've got 100 other things I need to be doing. I've got a lot going on this week, and it's all positive. It's great stuff, but it got me to thinking about how I wanted to really focus tonight on some of the inherent human tendencies that we tend to have, the patterns that we tend to fall into when nothing is there to interrupt them, and some of the strategies that I have found useful for moving beyond what my default pattern would have me do. Accountability is something that we've all heard about in some form or another, but I think there are good ways to do it. There are not so good ways to do it. Right now, there's myself and two other people have a weekly email thread where we just keep ourselves accountable to producing one video per week. And quite frankly, if it wasn't for that thread, I don't think this video would be getting made right now. But I thought about it multiple times yesterday, had every intention of getting it done yesterday. And then the day got away from me. And today I realized, well, I'm out a week. Friday's the deadline. It's got to get done. What I've realized from this experience is it's confirmed and validated some things, and also helped me to realize, to get a little bit more clear about my relationship with deadlines, and how it's real funny how the day can get away from me when I have a lot of wiggle room, but when I absolutely got to get something done, then the day doesn't get away from me. So it's the only difference is one that's psychological. And so accountability kind of helps to make that shift a little bit more conscious. At least for me, that's been my experience. I think that effective accountability, in contrast, well, I'll tell you ineffective accountability first. What in my experience has been when you're trying to force a behavior to change, and the predominant motivation is fear and shame. The basic idea of, well, I don't want to be humiliated by showing up and having not done what I said I was going to do. So I'll use this accountability to make sure that I do it. And you can make things happen that way. I will concede that. Problem is that if you are not fully connected to the reason why you're wanting to change the behavior in the first place, you can very easily fall into what psychologists sometimes call groupthink, which is, everybody else is doing something and everyone else says I should do something, so I better just go along with what the group does. You introduce the element of shame, and that can be a really poisonous combination of things, and that can really just bring the morale in any group downhill really quickly if you have accountability that's based on that type of thinking. What I would encourage you to think about instead is, if there's any kind of a habit that you want to change and you're finding yourself just not getting the motivation to do it, think about what is the ultimate outcome that you're hoping to achieve, and is the habit that you envisioned the best possible way to achieve that outcome, or is it possible that maybe there's a different approach? And I think when you approach an accountability partnership in that manner, you have somewhat a more of a supportive type of relationship. When I started down this path, I decided that I wanted to commit to myself to create a video every week for the rest of this year. Perfect or not, well, let's face it, none of them are going to be perfect. But I basically said, I'm going to stop fussing over trying to get these videos perfect, and I'm just going to focus on getting them done. And I reached out to a couple of folks. I've got and I now have 3 people in my accountability group that's basically just our arrangement is we will email each other what video we got done this week and what we're going to do next week. And it's as simple as that. And for me, there's not a fear of shame driving the process, but rather a feeling of being supported and a weekly reminder of why I'm doing this. Because really everything that I'm doing, it boils back to the center of my business, which is about making people's dreams financially viable. And right now for video, the basic idea here is that if you want to achieve financial viability, you got to be putting yourself out there, creating some visibility, doing something to be top of mind on a consistent, regular basis, not once in a while, not in short intense bursts of tons of activity really quickly, but a steady drumbeat of consistent visibility and presence is one of the most basic ingredients that's required in order to generate enough interest for any kind of a business. So that is my take on why I don't have time to make this video, but it's getting done anyway. So just consider that in closing, it is never about the time you have. It's just about what you make time for. Till next time.